Martha, if you could think of a celebrity that you would truly want to sit down and have dinner with, they have to be alive.
Okay.
Because they seem like somebody who, as they portray themselves on TV and in social media and all that good stuff, is exactly who they are in real life. Who would your person be?
Can I have two?
Yes, you can.
I'd want to have dinner with Snoop Dogg and The Rock.
Okay, I like that.
Because I think they're both really cool business guys, too.
I know. They seem level-headed. Just cool.
Yeah.
Just cool. Mine would be Mila Kunis. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hey everybody, and welcome to I Got This with LEX and MGP. I'm Lex, and I've been a personal trainer over the last 5 years. Martha has been my client for 3 years, and over that time, she has lost over 50 pounds and changed her entire perspective on life. Join us each week as we dive into health, mindset, and everything in between. Hey everybody, and welcome back to I Got This Pod. We are here today.
As always, happy Monday. So, Lex, I hear that you just went to a conference recently.
I did.
Give me a little wrap up on that.
Okay, cool. So I just went to VeeCon. It's an NFT conference.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk a lot about that. You guys probably know what they are.
Give us like a layman's quick definition.
Okay. All right. So non-fungible tokens, they are... Oh gosh, it's so hard to explain. No, really though. So it's the Web2 is like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Web3 is what NFTs are, and it's basically ownership within those items. So it's
kind of like, isn't it kind of like if I owned art, I have art that I can hang on the wall. This is basically art that I own on the internet.
Exactly.
I'm making it very basic there, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's So an NFT is anything that you can own. So it can be a JPEG, but there can be utility attached to this JPEG, right?
Right.
So non-fungible token could be a picture, but for example, to get into this conference, I had an NFT, but it was a ticket to the conference, and all I had to do to get in was scan that NFT. So that was my access into the conference, which is really cool. And then it gave me access to the app that went along with the conference. So there's so much that you can do with NFTs, but it's hard to explain because not many people have unlocked everything that goes with it.
Well, it's in a new and emerging really world at this point.
Exactly. Basically, it's just ownership online.
And honestly, when you and I were talking about it, we weren't going to talk about NFTs per se.
No.
It's just one of the reasons you were at the conference.
Yes.
But you were telling me all these other exciting things that you learned at the conference.
Yes.
And that's what I really want to hear about. So,
yeah.
And I'm sure our listeners do as well. So give me one of the takeaways.
Okay. So at this conference, it was really cool. It was mostly an experience. So that's the biggest thing. It kind of felt like I was in Disney World, which was like shocking. Like you walk in and there are all these like big characters in these costumes. So if you guys look up Gary Vee, I would highly recommend it. He's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, literally everything.
He's written books.
He's written books, many books, yeah. He's a motivational speaker, but also like an entrepreneur. He's done a lot of different things. So he has these NFTs and they're all like characters. And they remind me of Disney World characters, right? So
like the big mascots running around?
Exactly. But these characters are aligned with like morals, which is really cool. So there's this kindness kudu, right? And there's the outgoing octopus. And then one of my favorite is the fearless fairy, right?
Okay.
So with all these characters are these kind of like morals that you want to instill in your children and in a community. And what this guy has done is he's built this community around these different aspects and morals, which is really amazing. But my favorite part about going into that conference and walking in is it felt like you're walking into Disney World or an experience.
Okay.
So there was the adventure astronaut walking around in this giant costume. And then on some of the walls, there was truly like graffiti, and it was at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. So it's this giant stadium where normally thousands and thousands of people are cheering on football teams.
Right downtown there.
Yeah. And but there's like art. It felt more like an art conference than anything, which was really cool.
Almost like a living art gallery.
Yes, exactly. There were ceramics of all these different characters. There were pictures it was a great display of NFTs. So like you would have the picture on a picture frame, but it would like change, and you could actually like be super interactive with it and like play with it, which was kind of cool.
It's very futuristic sounding.
Exactly. It truly was like an experience. Like you walked in and you felt like you were in a completely different world, which was cool.
Yeah.
So there were all these different speakers. Deepak Chopra was there.
Nice.
Yep. Snoop Dogg.
Love some Snoop.
Yeah. So there are a lot of really cool speakers that I want to talk more about. Jesse Itzler, who, if you guys don't know, look him up. He's an entrepreneur, a business enthusiast. He did an amazing speech that I'm not going to touch on a ton, but so I kind of wrote down like 5 takeaways that I had from this conference.
Okay.
And
that can apply just to general life, not necessarily this world.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I knew that walking into this conference, it would change my perspective on things. I knew it would change my life, really. And I do feel like it did that. So one of the days we were led through an actual meditation by Deepak Chopra.
I mean, who gets the opportunity to do that?
I know. I know. So he had us like close our eyes, and he brought like awareness to ourself. Now, obviously, I can't explain how surreal it felt in person, but he said something that I do think will forever sit in my heart. He said, if you ever feel sad or lonely or depressed and are in a really dark place, bring yourself to this question: how can I help others? And if you ask that question, your suffering will lessen.
I like that.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I think of that, it does remind you that we are here to be there for one another. And we are here to make others' lives better. And if you're sitting and focusing on, oh, I have a crappy life. Oh, things are going so poorly for me. They're not going how I want them to go. Or, oh, this really bad thing happened to me. And yes, of course, bad things happen.
Absolutely.
But if you can figure out how to help the person next to you, you're no longer focused on yourself.
Correct. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put that in my pocket and take it with me.
Take it with you. I would. Yeah. And I think the other thing that sits with me on that one is, and as I've taken it home, is yes, every day I'm not like, okay, I'm gonna bring food to the homeless, or I'm not gonna I'm not donating my time or my money or my assets all the time. But what I am doing is choosing to show up for other people as the best version of myself and listen more.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be those big grand gestures.
No, because we don't always have the will or the time. But I think just by showing up kind, calming your soul, and listening, being a little bit more introspective to how you're treating others, I think that is helping other people.
Oh, I agree. Kind of like we talked about it, I think it was the last episode, choosing who you want to be, making those choices.
Exactly.
Or decisions.
Yes. Yeah. So, I don't know, I think that one sat with me a lot. And of course, that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was a cool one. So there was another point in this journey where I kind of decided I wanted to meet more people. And I was with a wonderful group of people that I was able to travel with. So that was awesome. But I wanted to expand what I currently know. I wanted to get outside of my current experience. So
out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. So the first thing that Gary Vee said in the beginning of the conference, he said, I challenge you to go to talks that you would normally not go to. And I challenge you to go to meet people that you would never normally talk to. Do things that you would never normally do. So he made a great example. You like fitness, you're going to go naturally to the fitness talk.
Yeah.
Right? But in reality, if you see something that you never normally go to, I challenge you to go to that. Yeah. So that was amazing. I did learn so much more than I ever thought I would. I learned about security and all these topics that are not naturally my favorite.
Wouldn't have been top of mind for you to go to.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And then the next thing was like, I wanted to talk to more people. So after like certain people would get up off stage, I just kind of decided, you know what, I'm going to go up to that person. And after I did it the first time and I walked up to somebody and they were very kind back, I then gained this like odd sense of confidence.
Sure.
And I went and talked to so many people that I would never normally talk to. And I think that brought me more confidence in, number one, my ability to talk to people, but number two, that people are kinder than you think. And you'll be shocked at what happens if you do go outside of your comfort zone in terms of speaking to new people.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's always very anxiety-ridden or nerve-wracking to just walk up to a stranger and make conversation, especially if it's someone of note.
Exactly.
Right? Or you think that there's someone of note.
To me, exactly.
Right.
It's funny, too, because I thought all these people were someone of note because I've known them from Twitter or something along those lines. So to me, they were someone of note, but I'd like post this picture and other people would be like, I literally have no idea who that is. I was like, I know, but they're like a big deal to me.
And that's all that matters, really.
Yeah.
And them, you know, they're just, you think of yourself as just a regular person. They probably think of themselves as just a regular person.
Yeah. There was this one person that said, like, you want a picture with me? And I was like, yeah. And I could tell it made their day too. They were like shocked that I wanted a photo with them, which was interesting.
I mean, I don't know if, I think I probably told you this story, but when I was running for election 2 years ago, and of course there were TV commercials on all the time. So I was getting recognized, you know, at the grocery store or in the neighborhoods or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think I told you about the one lady who said, my daughter, my 12-year-old just loves you.
Yeah, yes.
And she like had to go get her, find her like in the store, and I had to take a picture and sign it out. I'm like, I am not a celebrity.
I know.
But to her
you were.
And so that's the same kind of thing.
That is the coolest thing.
But I mean, I didn't feel like I was on some pedestal, so they don't probably either. They just think of themselves as real normal people.
Exactly.
So.
But I love that too, because you being on that other end, you almost feel like humbled. You're like, wow.
What?
Yeah, that.
Well, it was, to me, it was bizarre. You want a picture with me?
Exactly. Like,
but okay.
Yeah. You're like, why?
I'm just me. I'm just Martha.
Yeah. I'm just being who I am, which I think is what people love, though. Those are the people I want the pictures with, is people who were being themselves and putting that out into the world, right?
And maybe they just have some notoriety for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, I had some temporary notoriety because I was on TV all the time.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is. But.
And I love that. It's a humbling feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. And it's
It's kind of an odd feeling too, but
I bet. What did you feel like when you were like that happened to you? Because it happened to you a few times.
Oh yeah, and it happened for about a year.
Exactly.
You know,
I remember you coming in to the gym and you'd be like, "Yeah, somebody just like came up to me and asked me if I'm like Martha Tashnik." And I was like, "Yeah,
maybe."
Yeah. And like you also don't like know what to say to that.
Yeah, you're kind of like, "Why?"
Yeah, or like, "Yes."
Because I did have some people recognize me, and it was also not for good reasons. So, so that was kind of hard too. But for the most part, 90% of the time, it was positive. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always like a weird, like, oh, yes, thank you for noticing me, I guess.
It's weird when, and I'm sure it's weird for them, these other people that you're talking about too. It's weird when people know who you are, but you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Like when I would be giving a speech and there'd be, thousands of people or whatever. And they all know who I am. And I don't know who hardly any of them are.
Yes. You know what? So a lot of these people were actually really good at that. They were like, actually, the more I think about it, they would say, "Oh, and what's your name?" And they were super quick to say, I was like, "Oh my God, are you this person?" They were like, "Yeah, and what's your name?"
Yes, that's exactly what you have to do because you want to connect one-on-one.
Exactly. And I was really impressed by that because I felt so special. I was like, "Do you want to know my name?" Even though, of course, when you're introducing yourself to somebody, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, nice to meet you. And, the whole thing, right.
Yeah. I think it was so funny. Even Eva Longoria was there, too. And I was standing by these people who have more comfortable with celebrities.
They've been around it for a while, sure.
Exactly. And they looked at me and they put their hands up like high in the air. They're like, "Your energy and excitement is here. They're normal people. You got to bring it down." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I was like a foot from her. I got a picture with her. It was cool. But it's a weird experience. And then you do realize, oh, wait, okay, these people are just people, and I have every right to just talk to them and connect with them like anybody else.
Correct.
And if they're kind, they'll connect back. And if they
aren't,
then you aren't.
Their loss.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't get to meet you.
Exactly. So it was definitely an interesting experience. I loved that. So what I wrote was combine a fearless fairy and an outgoing octopus, and the outcome may change you. And it sure did change me, which was kind of cool.
Well, good. Use your good personality for,
For good.
For good, yeah.
One of the next things I wrote down in my reflections, Snoop said this. We were talking about how much we love Snoop.
Yeah.
Prior to our episode.
We still love you too, Dwayne Johnson, but we're still manifesting you on the show. But if Snoop Dogg wants to come on too.
Snoop is sick. I actually met his manager. So his name's Nick Adler. Okay, so this is funny. I was getting on my plane back to Detroit, and I'm walking onto the plane, and I look to my right, I'm like, oh, that guy looks like super familiar. And I'm like sitting in my seat. I get to my seat, sit down. I look him up. He was one of the last guys on stage.
Okay.
He was Snoop's son, and then it was him, and then Gary, and they were all on stage together. I think it was Gary or somebody else. I'm not sure. I was like, damn, it would have been so cool to talk to him, because now at the end of my trip, I'm on this
I'm talking to everyone.
Exactly. I was like, I'm going to talk to whoever I literally want to talk to.
Yes. Move over. I'm coming in. I'm Lex.
Yes, exactly. So I sat down. I was like, damn, I wish I could talk to him. And I was like, he's going to be gone by the time I get off the plane. I'm in coach, whatever. He's in first class. And I was like, oh, I missed my opportunity, but whatever. It doesn't matter. And then as I get off the plane, he was standing there waiting for his friend or whatever. And
his buddy who was stuck in coach?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. And then I go, are you Nick Adler? And he was like, yes, I am. And I was like, and we talked for a minute or two, and he was just the nicest guy. And I was like, yes, these people are exactly they're just normal people. And you can feel that. And even though he's not crazy famous, you know, he manages Snoop, who's an insanely big.
He's very successful. He's just not well known like a celebrity.
Exactly.
Public profile.
I think Katai was asked for a picture, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, why? I don't really know. I've been asking for pictures with everybody, but so that was cool. I was like, I met Snoop's manager. That's a big deal, but.
Hey, that's a direct line to Snoop for us.
Yeah. No, he's going to be he's going to never hear this podcast ever, I hope, honestly, actually. But yeah, so, we were talking about how much we loved Snoop Dogg before this.
Oh, yeah. It just something about his personality and charm, and his fact that he's really into his community, and he's been married a long time. He seems like a great family guy, but he's still Snoop.
He's Snoop.
With his, gangster rap and everything else.
He's just going to do whatever he wants to do. Snoop just does what he wants to do, and that's what I kind of love. But tell me what you were saying about what does he do for the home improvement? What was that?
I had just watched, he runs a youth football league.
Okay.
And it's literally called Snoop League or something like that.
Yeah.
And it really helps a lot of young men in the Compton area.
Yeah.
Near LA, and not the best area socioeconomically. So and a lot of these kids have, he's been able to get them off the streets because they're playing football and they have to be disciplined and be in sports, and they end up getting college scholarships, or a couple have made it to the NFL.
Right.
That whole thing. So recently I was watching an episode of Celebrity IOU with the Property Brothers.
Okay.
And they went in and rehabbed the commissioner's house, the commissioner of his football league that he hired. Yes.
I love that.
And made a big, he paid for everything, but not only was he paying for it all, he actually was in, a jumpsuit and work boots and a hard hat. And he was picking out everything. And
See, I love it. So what's so funny? I feel like people say this all the time. They're like, I don't get why celebrities get all this attention. That's just what society does. It gives successful people attention. And that's kind of just what it is.
People idolize who they want to be or be like.
Exactly. And it's well, what's so bad? Somebody like Snoop, who's a good, you can tell this guy's just a good person. And he is exactly who he puts out into the world is exactly who he is on the inside.
I mean, he hangs out with Martha Stewart and the Property Brothers. And then he's doing the Olympics with Kevin Hart.
Oh my God. Very well rounded. And so
that's my point.
It's funny bringing it back to what he said on stage. This is it's truly one of the things I wrote down. He said, only do it if it's providing you fun, F-U-N, and funds, F-U-N-D-S. And I thought that was
I'm thinking with Snoop Dogg, it was DZ.
DZ, maybe. But yeah, it was funny. So I don't know. I like that. It resonated with me for this podcast as well. It's like, well, we have fun, and I don't think it's providing us direct funds, but maybe one day it'll manifest into a variation.
Hey, but we're back to the other thing. We're making connections, and
we're enjoying it. So,
and hey, someone at the gym recently said, "Are you MGP?" So back to that.
Yeah, back to who are you? Like, yes, I am. And what's your name?
Well, they already all knew you. You were the celeb already.
Oh God, no, that's just because I'm a celeb in a small gym.
Yeah,
I'm a trainer. I'm always there.
Yeah,
but yeah, so. I thought that was cool. It resonated with me a ton. This is like our time to, if you're having fun with it, do it. If it's going to make you some money, do it. And just like, why not? And
if you can do both.
Yeah, exactly. And if we can do both, level up on that.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to like, if like do whatever sounds fun. It's not like, okay, all I can do is work. All I can do is have this side hustle. Like you can do have your hand in as many different fun things as you want. It's another guy I met. He has a few projects of his own. He's like, yeah, I only do projects because they sound like fun and I freaking want to do them. Sometimes they're stupid and I like how stupid they are.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I like that it's just like, sounds like something I want to do, so I'm going to do it.
Makes life interesting.
Exactly. And I think that's what resonated with me. I was like, it doesn't have to be a strict this. I'm going this avenue on purpose. It's, I want to do a little bit of this. It sounds fun. I'm going to do a little of that because it sounds fun. And I think that's what resonated with me. You can have your hands in as many things as you want.
Yep.
And I feel like you're embodying that a lot right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I like trying new things and taking on new challenges. And
you've got a lot of fun, different.
A lot of, oars in the water, so to speak.
Exactly, oars in the water, yeah. And I think that's what makes life more fun, and I like that. So
yeah, it's cool. Definitely not boring, for sure.
Exactly. So definitely took that with me.
All right, what else did you learn?
I've got some stuff about Web3, but we're not going to really get into that. We can have our oars in the water as well.
We could. Maybe in a future one.
Yeah, exactly. But the last thing I liked a lot was a lot of people are worried about not just Web3, but like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these people spending too much time on the internet and it taking them out of reality. And what I learned is this event taught me that Web3 just amplifies communities in real life. If we keep up these like meetups, these events, this community will feel more connected than ever because it was so easy to walk up to somebody and be like, oh, I know you from this. I know you from this Discord chat. Oh, I see you're wearing like this brand that I like too. And with doing that, it actually made meeting people so much easier. I felt more connected to the people around me than ever before at any like sports event, at any, whatever else. So I think like people are scared of the future, scared of virtual reality, scared of the metaverse, scared of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook taking over our minds and our life, when in reality, if we use it the right way, then it's not a scary thing.
No, I think the big problems are when you have people that are just passively scrolling through and feeling like they're not participating in life. Yes. But if you're actively connecting with people, that's a different story.
I totally agree. Yeah. And being immersed in it and wanting to connect with others. I don't think that's a bad thing. You're right. Just using it for good and not, you getting lost in a different world. But also, you know what? I do have to say, even for like kids in video games, right? Like some people are afraid of kids like sitting on video games all day. And I'm a fitness professional.
Sure.
I'm not saying that kids should sit inside and play video games all day long, but guess what? That kid who's sitting playing video games, who can't connect with other kids at school because he might be, a little different than them. But guess what? He gets online and he may be meeting people that he can actually connect with. And then guess what? He may have found of a community that he would have never found otherwise, right?
And there's ways to do that safely, for sure.
Exactly. So, yes, there are some evils, and yes, there are some hardships to, like, the virtual world. And I also think, I'm a very in real life person. I see people every single day, and that's my job, so I know that's different. But I do think there are some benefits, and I think, like, we can use this for the good. Like, I plan to use Discord in my upcoming challenge. I plan to use these virtual platforms to make these things more community driven.
No, there's absolutely because some people truly are introverted.
Yeah.
They really are. And you can't just say, like, snap out of it.
No.
That's your personality.
Exactly.
And I've even seen that at school with students who are afraid to talk in class. But, if I throw up something where we're using a discussion board, even if we're live in class using it, and they're throwing questions on there and then I'm answering, but kids that you never hear from will be on there. And even helping each other virtually.
Exactly.
So we have virtual breakout rooms that we use a lot.
Because it's easier to communicate online. And again, there are evils to communicating online for sure. But what's amazing about like this community that I was at, if you instill those things, like being kind, being outgoing, being empathetic, being, all these wonderful things, being honest, right? If you instill that in a community and then give them these, just like you said, like these discussion boards, good things can happen.
Right. You just have to set social norms.
Yeah. You have to set
Here are the norms, here are the rules.
Exactly.
And yes,
and
I will kick you out. Well, then usually I'm monitoring what's going on too. So they know that I can kick them out at any second.
And what's also cool about these communities too is when those norms are set, like this Discord for Gary V's thing, like if one person talks badly, everybody else goes in to suffocate the hate.
Like,
they
self-police, basically.
Yes, they self-police. Yeah, exactly.
Even the teenagers will do that.
Right.
If one kid's being a jerk, they will call them out.
Yes.
Which I'm like, great, thanks for doing my job.
Yeah.
So
that's even the community. I think when I was
that's what you want, though.
Yeah. When I did the 45 Days of Fury challenge, I had like, you were like my team captain, and I had all these people who like, I was like trusted to so much. I was like, well, you just make sure like if I'm not available and somebody's talking crap, like help me, like let's suffocate the hate, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we did. We took care of it.
I know you did. But so communities, just like you said, communities self-police. And of course there's got to be boundaries and lines, but it's cool to see that this world is growing in a great way. And I think that was my favorite thing, was seeing like an experience, how that was created, and then the kindness of others. So I'm excited to see what comes of the summer. I think it changed my perspective on things a lot.
Well, what would we say? The summer's going to be productive.
Yes, exactly.
That's our word of the summer.
It is. Mine is expansive. It's going to be an expansive summer. So.
There we go. It's coming.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening to me rant on about silly little topics. But
nothing silly about it.
Yeah. Grateful to be here. Grateful to have you all. And we'll see you next week.
I got this. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed what you heard, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at I Got This Pod. See you next week. And remember, I got this.